Welcome to Escape to the Country. Now, that rather shaky-looking chain bridge behind me was built 200 years ago and is a lasting testament to the commercial ingenuity of one man. But who built it and why? Well, join us in a moment and I'll tell you.
Today, our property pursuers are giving up their day jobs in return for a rural retreat.
He's spoiling me with these properties.
But things aren't always harmonious.
I could be quite happy with this bit, and there's enough room for Alan to just, be pushed right into that far corner.
Well, today we are in North Wales, and this is the famous chain bridge which crosses the River Dee at Llangollen. It was built back in 1814 by the fabulously named Exuporius Pickering. He was a mine owner, and in order to get his coal from this side of the river to the railway on the other and avoid toll charges that he'd have to pay on the existing bridges, well, he decided to build his own. Now, over the last 200 years, time and numerous floods have taken their toll on this fabulous structure. But now, thanks to the award of a grant, it's going to be restored and repaired. So hopefully, once again, visitors and locals alike can use it to cross this stunning river.
The area of North Wales shares its border with England and the counties of Cheshire and Shropshire to the east of it. The region is home to layer upon layer of hills rising and falling into beautiful river valleys, with pretty communities like the market town of Llangollen sitting on the River Dee. Its narrow streets are lined with whitewashed buildings featuring striking dark timbers. The borderlands between North Wales and England, known as the Welsh Marches, were fiercely contested for hundreds of years and contained the highest concentration of motte and bailey castles in the country. Chirk Castle, a magnificent medieval fortress completed in 1310, is a particularly fine example. The jewel in the area's crown is Snowdonia National Park, with 4 dramatic mountain ranges, expansive lakes and fast-flowing rivers. Equally as breathtaking is the North Welsh coast, where arresting sea cliffs overlook pristine sandy beaches such as Barmouth in Cardigan Bay, with its attractive harbour lying in the shadow of the Snowdonian Mountains in the distance. So with its mix of stunning scenery and historic architecture, this region is an escapee's paradise, a place where you really can get away from it all.
Well, this is one of my favourite parts of Wales, and it's long been popular with property hunters too, not just because it's beautiful, but also because of the prices. Now, the average cost of a detached property here is currently £170,000, 100 grand less than the national figure. And even when you compare it to neighbouring Shropshire, which is also pretty good value for money, there the same thing could cost you £70,000 more. So the message is clear. In North Wales, you can get more property for your pounds. So let's meet today's buyers and find out what's attracted them to this glorious part of the world.
For the 3 decades they've been together, Sally and Alan from Helsby in Cheshire have never had a house to call their own. But that is all about to change.
So for 30 years, I think we've carried on living in sort of small spaces, and I feel like we haven't grown up yet because we haven't actually got a house. And that's going to be great. It's exciting because we've never done it. No. We've never done it. We've always lived in 1-bedroom apartments.
They may not have ever had the keys to their own house, but their jobs as property managers means they've lived in plenty of other people's.
We've been managing properties for about 15 years. We sort of do everything as if it's our own property, really. Look after the grounds and the inside and all the plants and everything and keep it running smooth.
We've worked in old properties, in centre of London, in countryside, all kinds really, from a listed building to a modern...
High-tech to this place, which is high-tech and state-of-the-art.
The home they've shared for the past 4.5 years is a self-contained 1-bedroom apartment in the £4.75 million house they manage, sitting on the slopes of Helsby Hill. And it's got Sally's stamp all over it.
Well, it's an interesting mix of very modern and very old.
I do like 60s and 70s collectibles, so I spend a bit of time looking for it, and then I kind of like to put them all around the house. I just love the design, the colours. I probably haven't grown up really. I was brought up in the 70s and I continue to live in the 70s really. It is a bit like a toy shop, isn't it? And it's great. We live in it. It's fantastic.
They do love the home they've created, but when their employers decided to put their house on the market 3 months ago, it forced Sally and Alan to act on something they've been thinking about for quite a while: to use their life savings to buy a country retreat of their very own. And they've decided the area around the North Wales-English border is where they want to settle.
What I love about the Welsh borders is that it just makes me feel like I'm at home. It just is so relaxing. It's like the archetypal countryside. It, has rolling hills, like you would draw as a child. It's beautiful. I, as a little girl, lived in the rural area, and I suppose those memories are sort of pretty potent, and I would like to go back to that way of life, really.
When they leave their jobs, they'll have to start afresh, and they're hoping to have more leisure time to pursue the hobbies they love.
Well, in a spare time, we like to we do a little bit of vegetable gardening. We do bell ringing. I like to collect clothes and sort of little objects. I like to be creative, a bit arty. It makes me happy.
I really do like old cars. I like the simplicity of them, the look of them. I can maintain them most of the time, and again, they're great fun.
With the knowledge their employer's house could be sold any day, and with cash in the bank, Sally and Alan are ready for an exciting life change. Something very different from what they're used to after 15 years of living in other people's houses.
We've been so immersed in it for so long, I don't quite know what, the other side of being in our own place will be like, to be honest. Can't wait for it, though, to happen.
Yeah.
Be great.
New phase.
It's time to do something different.
Time to do what we want to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
Our buyers have asked us to concentrate our search to the east of North Wales around Denbighshire, Flintshire and Wrexham. But before we begin our hunt for their first house, I'm meeting them in North Wales to find out exactly what this property-savvy pair are looking for.
Sally and Alan, welcome to Wales.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Life at the moment for you is in Cheshire, but you have lived all over the place. Why have you decided on North Wales?
I think we might get a little bit more for our money here, hopefully, in terms of the space, and it's beautiful.
And what exactly are you looking for in this new property, Alan?
Nice space, nice piece of ground around, not too big, and a workshop for me, especially, and a studio for Sally.
And how many bedrooms are you looking for?
Well, we only need 2, but if it's got more, we might be able to utilise those as like a studio or an office.
Are you after something that's full of traditional character or something that's a bit more quirky, Alan?
Quirky would work for us, but traditional we could turn to quirky.
Now, how much are you hoping to spend on this?
Well, we've got a budget of 300,000, and that is absolute tops, really.
Well, hopefully you've come to the right place. We've got 3, I think, very interesting properties to show you, and this gorgeous landscape to explore.
Yeah.
Should we get going? Come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
Sally and Alan's budget is perfectly healthy for what they're looking for in this part of the world, and I'm hoping it won't be long before they realise their dream. They'd be happy with an open-plan home with at least 2 bedrooms, plus a studio for Sally to use for her painting. Outside, they'd love a manageable garden, ideally that wraps around the house, and a garage-cum-workshop for Alan to tinker with their 2 beloved classic cars. And having lived in a diverse selection of houses, Sally and Alan are happy to live somewhere a little out of the ordinary. We'll be showing them around 3 contrasting properties, and only after they've taken each one in will its price be revealed. The final trip will be to our mystery house, and today it'll give Sally and Alan a garden bigger than they could ever imagine, but there will be a compromise to take into account.
I'm fascinated by your life as property managers, though, Alan. But for many people, I think it might offer an opportunity to escape to the country in a very different way without having to go and buy something.
It can, yes. You can live in places that you could possibly never imagine.
But now's the chance for you to have your own domain.
Yeah, something we can call ours, that we can do exactly what we want.
I don't want to share anymore. I just want it all to be mine. Ours.
Ours.
Yeah, so it's quite exciting for us.
To kick off our journey, we're travelling to the village of Cynwyd in the county of Denbighshire. It's situated in the Dee Valley in North Wales and is just under 20 miles from the English border and just under 3 miles from the Welsh market town of Corwyn. Corwyn sits on the banks of the River Dee beneath the Berwyn Mountains. The colourful and attractive town is equipped with all the amenities locals might need and is also home to a life-size bronze statue of Owain Glyndwr, who in 1400 was the last native Welsh person to hold the title Prince of Wales. An 8-minute drive takes us to Cynwyd and our first property, this detached cottage topped with a Welsh slate roof in a secluded rural location.
But look behind you.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant.
But have a look at the house, because obviously that's the main event. And Alan, look at that.
What?
Oh, that's
I mean, for the classic cars, mate, that's
perfect.
Ideal. And behind it, you can't see it from here, is a workshop that runs the full width of it.
Right, yes.
As well.
Very good.
You're doing well so far.
Shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This country cottage with its spectacular outlook is over 200 years old, but its decor, although it retains some period features, is firmly in the 21st century. The current owners use it as a holiday home, and since purchasing it have refurbished the whole house, as well as adding an oak-framed extension to the side of it.
See, look at this, it's lovely. Nice new oak porch.
Yeah.
Kind of a boot room, really. There's nothing in it at the moment, but the light's gorgeous. And then this is the kitchen. What do you reckon?
It's
Very
great.
nice.
Oh, wow, fantastic. I love it. Yeah.
I love the simplicity of it.
Really nice, yes.
10 out of 10 for the kitchen.
It's also got quite a useful shower room and loo, etc. through there.
Yeah, because we've got lots of variations of coats and boots, and you just want to leave it all out there, come in, get warm, without actually having to affect the rest of the house. You know, you can go through and, you know, clean and refined and scrubbed up.
Now, I know you're used to spending much of your days fixing other people's properties, but with this one, to be honest, I don't think there's anything to do. But if you want cosy, come and have a look at this.
Just off the kitchen diner is the living room.
Oh, that's cosy.
Oh, very nice.
You're doing well, Jules.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wood burner roaring away in the background.
Yeah, I could be sitting on the hearth right next to the fire, burning the bottoms of my socks on the edge of the wood-burning stove, melting them. I've done that before. It feels cosy, which is what we all want, but it doesn't feel enclosed. Yeah. And it doesn't feel cottagey, even though it's got all those elements. It's really quite interesting. I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could probably truly escape here, actually, from what I've seen so far.
How's Alan?
Yeah,
He's
I
almost
like
speechless.
it. Yeah, almost speechless. More so than normal.
Well, you have got this living room, but we've also got another one through here with an additional wood burner. So, you know, I suppose they're similarly sized. This is probably more of a snuggy feel, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
Good.
This is such an important move for Sally and Alan, and I couldn't be happier that our first house tour is going so well. I just hope the positive vibes continue as we move upstairs, where there are 3 bedrooms, all with vaulted ceilings and beams.
Now, you've got a double here with bed,
Yeah,
a double there without a bed but with storage,
yeah.
and then we picked this one as the master.
I like it because you can get all the way around and there's still a huge space in front of the bed, because a lot of bedrooms, all you have is the little space around. You put a wardrobe in and that's it, it's full, isn't it?
Now, the only downside to up here is that it doesn't have the bathroom. That is downstairs.
Yeah.
However, they have got agreed planning permission to extend the property that way, over that flat roof, to give you what would be quite an elaborate ensuite if you wanted it.
Yeah, sort of stuck for words, really. I think it's got everything so far.
Save a few more words, because we need to talk about the price. Come outside.
The landscape gardens are dotted around the property, which is just what Sally and Alan were hoping for. There's a kitchen garden, a slate patio and a sweeping lawn.
Oh, that lovely view again.
Oh, it's great.
All part of the package.
And it's set in some really nice, mature gardens.
Right then, Alan, I'm going to put you on the spot, mate.
You've got £300,000. What is property one on the market for?
I would think about 270.
270.
I think it's probably a little bit more. It might be 285, 289.
You're both wrong. This was on the market at £325,000. It is now on the market at £295,000.
So it's got all the plus points. I can't think of any negative, really. We just need to understand the area a bit more, because obviously we don't know it that well. We don't have to do anything, do we?
No.
And we could have the easy life, feet up on a, on the fireplace.
Well, look, why don't you go and try it out? Go and put your feet up in front of that fire. Have a look around, and I will find you later.
Yeah,
right?
Thanks a lot. We'll see you in a bit.
Off you go. This characterful Welsh cottage comes in just £5,000 under Sally and Alan's budget, not leaving them much in the way of change, but the house doesn't need a thing doing to it and is ready to call home. It's got one more bedroom than they asked for, which could become Sally's studio, and it offers them the space they've never had in a home, with a lovely garden and fabulous views. Plus, outside, there's a carport for their beloved classic cars and a workshop.
Well, we could use this for bikes and gardening stuff, Al.
Yeah,
and you
and
could
all
have a
the
bench.
tools.
Yeah, it's just perfect. It is stunning and it is beautiful. You couldn't wish for anything better, really, to be honest.
The view is spectacular. The garage is wonderful. It would be all that I would need, and the workshop is a real bonus, and that would be just perfect for what I want to do.
Well, I'd have to give it 10 out of 10, really, because I can't find anything I don't like about it, really. So it's happy days, really.
Oh, this is an animated conversation. This is ideal, isn't it?
Brilliant, yes.
I think this has sold it to you on its own, Alan.
I could buy this on its own.
And live in it.
Yes.
Well, we have got 2 other properties to show you. And as it started raining, let's squeeze in some lunch. Come on.
Yeah, let's go.
Classic car fans Sally and Alan are looking forward to bringing their 2 classic motors with them when they make their move. And although the peaks and troughs of the Welsh landscape may not appear to be driving territory, the roads that wind through them are the setting for an annual classic car rally. It's organised by fellow classic car enthusiasts Ian Crammond and his wife Wendy. They founded the rally to bring tourism back to the area after the foot and mouth disease outbreak 13 years ago. And we've arranged for Sally and Alan to meet them near Chirk Castle to find out more.
So why did you start the rally?
Because Ian has been keen on cars and rallying all his life, he had the idea of starting a rally to draw on the roots of Welsh classic rallying, which wasn't happening at the time.
That's right. There's just an enormous heritage for rallying in Wales, going right back to the 30s. We wanted to take people back to that rather nice golden age.
The event is called the Three Castles Welsh Classic Trail and changes its route every year, taking in not only the spectacular North Wales scenery, but also its fabulous historic castles along the way. The route is kept under wraps until Rally Day, and Ian and Wendy are going to show Sally and Alan some highlights of previous events. Ian and Alan are setting off in Ian's 1966 S-Class Mercedes, while the girls are hitting the road in Alan and Sally's 1968 Austin A40. What better way to take in the wonderful Welsh landscape?
So, Wendy, where did your love of Wales come from?
This is my home.
Right.
I was born in Bangor, and I've loved the area all my life. Life is good in this area,
Right.
and it's
It
a
is
very beautiful
beautiful.
place to be.
It is.
We wanted, in fact, to create something, to try to create something for North Wales that was a rally of an equivalent status to many of the big European events.
During a rally, the road would have up to 100 classic cars driving along it at minute intervals.
Are the rally routes any better now than they were, or are they tougher?
I think you would find that the roads are the thing that hasn't changed. The cars using them change.
Right.
But the great high roads of Wales, for example, have been here for a long time. And we're driving today over roads. This road is an example which will have been here and used by rally cars for 50, 60 years now.
It's certainly well worth the journey to North Wales to take part in the rally, with the route passing beauty spots such as the medieval castle at Dinas Bran, peering down on the town of Llangollen, plus the Pontcysyllt Aqueduct, the largest aqueduct in Britain.
Do you have prizes for like the fastest, the slowest, the prettiest?
Yeah, it's not a race as such, so it's not the fastest. So you have categories for a particular age of car that has a particular engine size.
Yeah, so everybody's on an equal footing.
Yeah. So then you have 1930s cars of a certain engine size. Then you have 1940s cars, small engine, large engine.
Yeah.
And so it goes on. So you're trying to put people into groups where they have a fair chance of winning a prize.
After taking in such spectacular scenery, the group has arrived at beautiful Lake Vyrnwy as the sun is beginning to go down.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Especially at this time of the evening. But it's a fantastic example of the sort of reason why we have the rally in North Wales and what we're able to show people.
It's a showstopper for the end of the evening,
It's
isn't
fantastic.
it? All that hard work.
Yeah.
So, will you come and join us next year? It'd be nice to have your
I
company.
think we would love to. It'd be
Let's
fantastic.
see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
For our second offering, we're travelling just under 20 miles east and popping over the border into England to the hamlet of Craiglwy on the outskirts of Oswestry in Shropshire. It's under a mile from the Welsh border and just under 2 miles from the Shropshire village of Tryffonin. Tryffonin, which is Welsh for village of the ash trees, is home to a variety of smart houses, plus a welcoming dining pub serving ales from its neighbouring brewery, named after Offa's Dyke, the nearby trail that follows the border dividing England and Wales. A 5-minute drive takes us to our second property, this converted stone chapel, topped with a slate roof and dating back to the 19th century.
Well, no house hunting tour in Wales or the borders is complete, really, without a chapel. So here's yours.
I do like them.
It was built, as the stone says, above the doorway in 1868, but it was converted in 2007, 2008. They've done it really nicely. They haven't skimped on materials and fittings at all. And it's all powered and heated by a ground source heat pump.
Excellent.
Ooh,
Oh.
you will like that, won't you?
Yeah, so it's got some very good eco credentials. So what do you think, Alan?
I'm interested.
Let's have a look.
Okay.
This handsome chapel was actually a Welsh place of worship, even though it sits in England. The current owner bought it as a shell and converted it into a rather unique home. The double oak front door takes us into the hallway, where the full scale of the conversion can be appreciated.
That's a surprise.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what I thought. I mean, I know it's a chapel, but there's no altar there, so that's okay.
No, its purpose has changed somewhat.
Yeah.
It's quite clever, this, really.
Yeah.
You know, they're all of a sort, these chapels.
Yeah.
You've got, obviously, the main sort of living space here, dining area there. Through that door, you've got a downstairs shower room and 2 of the 3 bedrooms, which go off of it, so 2 of them are downstairs.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got this sort of wraparound mezzanine, which gives you what could be quite a useful study space or studio, and then through up to the master bedroom.
Yeah. Again, it's quite a simple interior, which is nice. It's refreshing. You're spoiling me with these properties.
It was last used as a chapel in the 1960s, and back then the floor downstairs sloped to allow the congregation to all get a good view of the minister's sermon. And one level up is the kitchen, once the vestry of the chapel, and it's perpendicular to the rest of the property and built into the slope of the hillside with access to the garden. And like the rest of the home, it benefits from underfloor heating, so no cumbersome radiators, and cost-effective.
It's different, isn't it?
I need to see the rest of it to be able to work out the space.
It's not a conventional layout. I suppose that's the thing to really get your heads around.
That doesn't matter to us.
No, it doesn't. Let's go and have a look at the rest of
Right,
it.
come on. Come this way.
Up a few more stairs is an impressive galleried landing cum sitting area with a vaulted ceiling, leading to the master bedroom.
Very nice room, yes.
This one also has the addition of a walk-in wardrobe through there, which is terrific, but it also has a really nice ensuite. Have a look.
Right.
It's behind that door. Yeah,
Okay.
come on, have a look.
Wow,
There we go.
that's a big space. Wasn't expecting that.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was an empty shell has been transformed, making the most of the available space, and this old chapel seems to have captured Sally and Alan's interest. The garden is just as important to them as the inside, so I hope they're pleased with what's on offer here. A multi-level plot with outstanding views.
Now, the one thing this doesn't have that Property One most definitely did have is that great big garage.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of space to put one, well, you've got 3 or 4 parking spaces down there off the road.
Yeah.
But because of the nature of this terrace garden, the only other option really is to put it here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the package. So you've got £300,000 to spend. What is our chapel worth, Sally?
272. Very specific, I know.
Where did the 2 come from? Go on, Ellen.
I'd say a little bit lower, maybe 265.
265. I can see where you're coming from because you would want to add those extra facilities
Yeah,
that
we
it doesn't
need a bit
have.
of money.
However, it is a bit more than that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, yeah, I can feel that in the property. Yeah.
It's currently on at £299,950. So it's all in.
What can we do for the 50 quid, do you think? Very nice. We'll have a ponder.
Go on, off you go. You go and ponder away.
Yeah.
At just £50 below budget, this converted 19th century chapel may only give Sally and Alan a few pounds for their kitty, but it's been refurbished to such a high standard that it's ready to move straight into. It's bright and spacious with an extra bedroom which could become a study for Sally, and although there's currently no garage or workshop here, there is plenty of room to add one or both in time. The outside space is pretty and manageable, and the views from the property are simply stunning.
From the outside, it looked like a typical Welsh chapel in very good condition. Really interesting living area. Brilliant bedroom and storage. Very clever use of the space, and really well done. Everything about it just says quality.
It's a different feel altogether. It's got lots of possibilities. We just need to give it more thought. The other was easy to work out. It was just ready to go. So it's in the running, definitely. It's a great space.
Well, it's not been a bad day, I don't think. What do you think?
To what?
A good first day of house hunting?
Yeah, brilliant. Between the showers.
Yeah, well, look, it's getting dark. Who's for supper by the river?
Me!
Come on, then.
Me.
Llangollen.
Oh, yeah.
It's the second leg of our property jaunt, hopping over the North Wales and English border, looking for a house for Sally and Alan from Helsby in Cheshire to finally call home. They've got a healthy budget of £300,000 to spend on a house with a twist and a good outside space. Coming up, our mystery house will be unwrapped in all its glory.
We'll take it. Come on, let's go.
And get down!
And I'll be getting wet, all in the name of research.
No! No, leave me like that! Well, over the years as property managers, Sally and Alan have worked for some of the wealthiest people in the country and lived in some of Britain's most beautiful buildings. So what could we possibly come up with for our mystery house? Well, we thought we'd give them a taste of the old days, a building that's as impressive and as imposing as any they may have worked in the past. But of course, it does come with a twist. On this occasion, if they like it, well, it could become their home.
For our third and final property, we're journeying just under 14 miles north back into Wales and the village of Rwabon. It's just under 7 miles from the town centre of Wrexham and is around 6 miles from the English border. Rwabon is a small village with all the shops and eateries locals and visitors might need. There's also the attractive St Mary's Church with its statuesque clock tower dating back to the 14th century. A 4-minute drive from the centre of the village takes us to our mystery house, part of the Winstay Hall estate. It was once a private home and then a school before being converted into separate dwellings.
Now, how about that then for a mystery house? You have the whole lot for £300,000.
We'll take it. Come on, let's go.
If only, if only. What we've done here is we've found you a chunk of the former Windstay Hall. Since the 90s, really, the whole thing has been turned into a series of properties. There are 69 here currently. In living here, you get access to communal grounds and parkland. There is a small fee every year, maintenance fee, but that means you get the windows painted, the lawns are cut. Now, we're not going to try and sell you the whole thing, obviously. What we've got in mind for you is a very pretty corner of what was the old stable block.
Very good.
You should feel quite at home in this kind of setting, I would
Oh, we
think.
do, yes.
To get to it, well, it's a little bit of a walk. Come on.
OK.
The old stable block is located behind the main house and has been converted into over 30 homes. This Grade 2 listed Mews house is built from sandstone and is set out over 3 levels. Sally and Alan might have wanted their own space and land, which they don't exactly get here, but this is our mystery house and it is meant to challenge them. I hope they'll agree that what is on offer inside more than makes up for having to share what's on offer outside. We're kicking off our tour in the sitting room.
Very nice.
Very straightforward, very simple living space.
It's a mixture, isn't it? It's old and contemporary, and it's quite good. I do like mixing it up, especially we've got lots of furniture from different eras. It's great. Yeah, I do like it.
It's a huge stable block. You've got 3 bedrooms above this floor, and they still managed to incorporate this very high ceiling, but it allows the mezzanine to happen as well.
That's clever use of the space. I like that.
Down one step in this open-plan living room is the kitchen diner.
There, all tucked away.
Oh, that's a surprise.
But actually, as a working space, it's quite a lot of kitchen area.
Gosh, it's plenty big enough for 2 of us, and, you know, a few times we entertain. Absolutely adequate.
It's all here. They've done quite a clever job in slotting it all in. It all sort of flows.
A stairway leads us to the mezzanine level with its glass balcony, giving a bird's eye view over the ground floor.
Rather cosy, actually. Something of a sort of library feel to it.
Studio.
Studio?
Yeah.
Painting studio?
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Here, I mean, I could be quite happy with this bit, and there's enough room for Alan to just, you know, be pushed right into that far corner.
I can see what's going on here, Alan. You don't get all the space, do you?
No.
Another stairway leads to the top floor.
You really are sort of up in the gods with this one up here. You've got, 3 bedrooms in all. 1 double there, 1 double here. Nice big family bathroom with the bath in it. And then this is the master.
Perfect.
I mean, as a package, is it all sort of coming together?
Yeah.
It's simple, like they all are, but easy to look after. That's what we're looking for, really.
Yeah. And, of course, with this one, you've got an ensuite.
Oh, have you?
Through there, ensuite shower room. There we are.
Great, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I'm hearing all the right noises inside, and as we move to the garden, I hope they continue. Sally and Alan will definitely not be short of outside space if they move here.
When you have got acres and acres to enjoy here.
70 to be precise, including beautiful gardens, lakes and tennis courts.
Now, you've both already guessed the price once, so who's going to go first this time?
You are.
OK, a bit over budget, I think. Possibly 320.
320, says Alan.
Me, under budget.
OK.
By quite a way, I reckon.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to keep it at 250.
250?
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's on the market for £210,000.
Yeah. I knew I could see that coming. I didn't dare go lower because I thought I might embarrass myself.
I could live with that kind of embarrassment.
Yeah, well, it gives you a lot of money left over on which to live.
Yeah.
Off you go. Go and have a wander, figure out what you might do.
Thanks.
Brilliant. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that a buyer's list of requirements have suddenly changed when faced with the mystery house, but as well they might with this one. It would suit them, I think, beautifully.
This fabulous listed Mews house is a substantial £90,000 under Sally and Alan's budget. It may not offer them shelter for their classic cars, but the property does come with 2 parking spaces, and it will keep them in the manner to which they have become accustomed. Here they get a bonus bedroom, plus the living space is open plan and versatile, which is just what they wanted. And they'll never tire of enjoying the gardens, which are huge and beautifully kept.
Oh, bulrushes. Oh, it's all the archetypal plants you might expect to see. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Look at the monkey puzzle tree.
Oh, yeah. I do really like it. I like the space, which is very similar to what we've got now, so we know we can work in it. Plus, we've got extra space, which is brilliant.
Pleasantly surprised, and it's a place I would never have thought of looking at. There's a lot of space, even though it's quite compact and small. It's something we needed to see, a setup like this.
I think this one's quite inspiring. Beautiful house in a beautiful place, beautiful grounds, connected well to everywhere. Could be ideal for us.
Well done.
Well, we've given you plenty to think about. Should we go and settle down somewhere and mull it over?
Yes, please.
In a pub?
Well, maybe.
Is that food for thought?
Oh, very good. Yes, very good.
Because of its dramatic terrain, Wales has been known as the spiritual home of extreme sports in the UK for some time. I've come to try my hand at whitewater rafting on the River Dee in the Dee Valley, which was formed when a glacier melted at the end of the last ice age. I'm meeting rafting experts Josh and Ant at Horseshoe Falls. They're going to show me how it's all done.
Rafting on the river, Josh, is something that's really taken off only in the last few years.
Yeah, like the main section that we're going to be rafting today is kind of started going rafting about 18 months ago, so it's still fairly new to the valley itself.
Now today I'm going to be in the raft with you, Josh.
Yes.
And Ant, you're going to be in the safety kayak.
Yep.
Keeping an eye on us in case any of us go in.
If anybody falls out, I'll be there right next to you, giving you a hand.
What are the chances of me actually going in the water and you having to rescue me then?
It's a 50-50, we'll have to see.
We're starting our trip at Horseshoe Falls itself. Josh will be sitting at the back of the raft as guide, and my camera crew have come along for the ride and to make up numbers. Ideally, you'd have 3 or 4 crew members to manoeuvre the craft.
Okay, right then.
First, a quick safety briefing and paddling lesson.
If for some reason one of us leaves the boat involuntary, do we remember what to do if you're swimming on your own?
We are going to be in the water, heading downriver with our feet downriver, protecting ourselves from the rocks with our feet. Oh, and hopefully holding onto my paddle if I haven't lost it.
That's perfect.
Okay, right then.
There we go.
Now we're ready to face the rapids.
And paddle backwards, paddle backwards.
The rafts are made from very strong rubber or PVC, which makes them pretty sturdy.
Beautiful.
Excellent. So we're going to start with our forward strokes.
The only time the river is out of bounds is after flooding, when the water level can rise by as much as 8 metres.
Perfect. Keep it going all together.
And I'm glad it's pretty calm today. Well, so far.
There's a lot more to rafting than you might think. It's not just being along for the ride. Everybody has to do their bit.
Yeah. So we're going to look at dropping over this first kind of weir drop here.
Okay.
Ant's going to go first, and then he'll give us a signal, and then we'll drop straight over as well.
Brilliant.
So if we can assume the positions. Keep it going, and get down, hold on, down you go, make sure you're holding on.
Whoa!
And back to your seats. Backwards paddle, stop.
In whitewater rafting terms, this is no gentle stretch of water. The River Dee here rates as a 3, with 1 being a gentle paddle and 6 a danger zone and no-go territory.
Keep it going, team, all together.
Well, hey! How about that? What a way to see this river. I'm loving it.
The river and banks here are not only a designated area of outstanding natural beauty, but also a site of special scientific interest.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And here we are now immersed in this valley of the Dee. I mean, you see this all day long, but I just love it.
It's a beautiful section, and I guess this kind of highlights the nature of our trip here as well. So we're going to have small rapids followed by like kind of calm pools. It's interspersed by kind of calm sections, which gives us time to kind of relax and take in the scenery, really.
Ahead of us is the bridge where I started my journey around North Wales.
Are we just going to hang in this little eddy?
That's the one. Keep it going. And stop there. A different perspective of the chain bridge, I guess.
It really is, isn't it? Lovely reminder of the area's industrial past. The bridge built 200 years ago this year by that wonderfully named Exuporius Pickering. Let's leave the bridge and head downriver, shall we?
Cool.
The next rapid we're going through is the ominously named Tombstones Rapid, our final adrenaline adventure before we end our white-knuckle ride.
Give it some beans, give it some beans, give it some beans. Harder, 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 harder. And get down, hold on.
We're surfing! Oh, yes, that's quite cold, actually. Cheers, Hat.
There we go.
Just absolutely brilliant. Thank you very, very much indeed. And what a way to experience this valley than from the surface of the Dee itself. Thank you so much.
No problem. He didn't even go for a swim.
I didn't go for a swim. I just about got away with it. No, leave me like that.
There we go, he's in.
Well, we have given Alan and Sally 3 fantastic options this week, each of which they have enjoyed and, in fairness, taken at their respective merits. But of course, they can choose only one. So what does the future hold for this couple who are finally looking to settle down in a home of their own? Well, let's go and ask them. Well, you came out here looking for a new home that you could finally call your own after having looked after so many others for so many different people. What happens next?
For me, it's the mystery property.
Really?
I really like property one, as I think you probably guessed, because that was sort of a home almost instantly. And the final property, the mystery house, that gives us lots of options. I can't say between the first and the third, but both of those will need to be closely inspected to see if there's any real potential in either of them. I can see it might be more the mystery house than the first property. The thing is, what we've got to do is take a view about what's best in the future, because we just want to buy one property and that will be it. So it's got to take us a long way, really.
I would have had my money on property one.
It is my favourite, but you've got to, it's a joint decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't have your own way all your life.
Well, but
I've tried.
you've tried. Tried and failed. Will you go back and have another look soon?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
That's the thing. Just let us know, keep us informed as to what you do next. I have enjoyed showing you around. I think some really interesting properties. Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jules.
Thank you.
You know, finding a new home for a couple who have had the chance to live and work in some of the finest that Britain has to offer was always going to be a little bit of a challenge, but thankfully the property market here in North Wales has not disappointed us, and if anything, I think it's left Alan and Sally spoilt for choice. I suspect they have much still to discuss. So where better to finish up, well, than where we started, on the banks of the beautiful River Dee. I'll see you next time.
If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and would like our help, then please apply online at bbc.co.uk/Be On A Show.